All right, now if you find yourself in the need for a small fill light that's portable, flexible, and gives you a lot of power, then this little Viltrox 15C may be something that fits right up your alley. Let's take a look and see all the things this little light can punch into it. Now this is a 0 to 360 degree full color RGB light, and it actually builds itself as an RGB fill light. And honestly, it does exactly that. It is really small, but packs a good amount of punch and a lot of features in its size, which I really like. Now, when you get this thing in the box, it actually comes with a couple of really cool things. The first thing is you come with the light itself, but it also comes with a Sony NP-F battery, which nowadays is actually really nice. So if you're someone that doesn't have a bunch of Sony NP-F batteries lying around, this is a really nice feature to have. The other good thing about this NP-F battery, this is actually an NP-F 550 battery, and if you look on the back, it's got a little button there. If you click on that, it'll actually show you a light indicator of what you have, and check this out. It's got a USB-C connection here on the battery itself. So that means that you can charge this in a traditional Sony battery charger, but if you have a power brick or something like that with the USB-C, you can actually charge the battery on the run with a USB-C. So really cool innovation, and really nice that it comes here with the light. Didn't expect that to happen. Very cool. The other thing the light comes through that I think is really handy is it does come with this little cold shoe mount. It's kind of got a GoPro type sensibility, so you can tilt it backward and forward. But what's nice is not only does it have a threaded 1/4 inch on it, but it has this locking pin on there, which I'm going to show you in a minute why that's really important. But this really gives you a really good, sturdy, flexible mount that you need to do, and it's also got another 1/4 inch on the bottom, so you can put this on another magic arm or something like that if you need it. So really flexible components that you get in the light as it all kind of comes together. Now, as far as the build itself, this thing is largely plastic, and while it doesn't feel like it's super rugged, I wouldn't go throw this off the back of a truck or anything. The plastic does keep it very lightweight, which means this is something that would be really nice if you were going to pop this on a camera and want it living there, because it's got this extra size from it, gives you a softer light source, and it's not going to be this huge weight on the top of your camera. So I definitely think the plastic there plays into the strength of what this is, because it wants to keep it light and flexible. But my favorite thing about the design of this light is actually the size of it. It's about the size of like a Kindle reader, I guess, and I actually really like this because a lot of lights that kind of have this form factor are much smaller. They're like a deck of cards, like the Aperture MC. And I often find myself with those smaller kind of fill lights like this. I often need to put like 2 of them together because I often want a bigger spill of light than what I get. This comes with an automatically built-in bigger spread of light because the size is bigger. And I know I can use this for a fill light if I need to, or I could use this as a nice backlight to give me some accents that I have, and it covers a wider area, so I need fewer lights to get the same level of area. It's also a really good design for vlogging, because as I said, this is very light, and as you can see, I can hold this up right there. This is only at about 30% power. It's very bright, and this light design gives me a bigger light source, so I can get a nice fill light, and I can just run and gun. It's not gonna weigh my camera down. In addition to that, because this thing does have a 1/4 inch mount on the bottom, but it's also got this second locking mount, which happens to go perfectly with the locking mount on here. So what's great is I can take this, put it in there, and when I screw this in here, that locking shoe, this is just like the RE features that you have on a lot of mounts and stuff. This thing does not shift now. It really stays on there. So you know if you're running and gunning with this thing on your camera, that it's not going to twist and fall off. This thing is going to stay on there really well because it does have that second point of contact. Really nice design feature. You really don't see that very much in smaller lights like this, and I think that's something that's really cool. Now, the design of this is pretty straightforward. It does have a nice kind of diffuse panel on the front, and on the back you can kind of see here, it does have a very intuitive LED panel, and it's got a mode button that I can cycle through my modes. And it's also got this really nice tactile dial. And what the dial does, it actually lets you can click on it to jump between settings, and then you can dial in and get exactly what you need, basically, to dial it in. So it's a really tactile, very comfortable. I think most of you could pick this up in about 2 minutes and have what you need. So a really well designed, simple light. You can see it does not have a very big footprint at all. It is very thin, even with this Sony battery on there. So you can put this in a lot of spaces and it's not going to get in the way. And if you're wondering about the output specs of this light, it is actually a 0 to 360 degree full color RGB light that has RGB and HSL, in addition to some color gels that are built in there. On top of that, it also has a really good bicolor setting that goes from 2800 Kelvin up to 6800 Kelvin, and it comes packed with 26 different FX scenarios. So really a lot of flexibility in this light. It also has a pretty good kick to it at 1350 lumens with a CRI value of greater than or equal to 95. So really good light rendition and really powerful kick. And the spread kind of has 120 degree illumination, and it takes about a 15 watt draw from the power on the battery. Now, one of the best things about this light, period, is the fact that this Viltrox is part of the Weeylite family, and that means this thing accesses the Weeylite app, which is one of the best light apps you have, period, for controlling lights. And you're going to want to have an app to control this light. And the best thing is the Bluetooth that comes on your phone is going to instantly recognize these Weeylite apps. I've never had a problem controlling my light from it. It's pretty simple. If you click on this Weeylite app, you're going to be connected instantly here to your thing. You can see just how easy it is for me to go and move this around. And I'll move this around just so you can see. I love the fact that if I move this around, it's just instantly controlling what my light does. I have access to all the effects in here. As you can see, I can put it up whatever I need. It doesn't matter. These apps let you completely unlock all of the potential that exists here in these lights. And in my opinion, in today's day and age, you should not buy a light, in my honest opinion, unless you have app control, because you're gonna put this place somewhere where it may be hard to get to. You wanna control it and you wanna dial it in. And these apps really let you unlock everything that this light can do. So this is a very powerful function that this thing has. And the fact that it's part of such a robust app in the Weeylite app really gives this thing a huge bang for its buck. So I really think this Sprite 15C is a really great little bang for the buck. If I had to put any cons on it, I would say the only con that I would see is I'm a sucker for light control, and this is a great little fill light, but man, I kind of wish I had some kind of barn door option in case I wanted to maybe control the light. There is no barn door option, and the only other con that I would really think needs to be pointed out is while it has a great side mounting option here on the bottom, there's nothing on either side. It is always nice to have that option to mount on the side if possible, and this doesn't have that. It's just that one mounting point on the bottom. But that being said, I think that still works fine because the mounting on the bottom does have this cool little lock, which I think really makes it really valuable. So all things considered, if you're looking for a very affordable, practical, and powerful little fill light, this Sprite 15C may be exactly what you're looking for. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear what you have to say with this. Leave me any notes and comments down below. And yeah, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.